Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back from the world of Eve. We hope that you enjoyed all the beauty tips in the program today, which Rasha and I were sharing, and as well as that you would share your beauty tips with us and that you like the world of Eve. Our email address is goodmorningksa@gmail.com. Now, on this note, resuming today's edition of the program and going on towards the stock exchange today, we are going to be talking about the first Saudi Forum for Stock Exchange. Joining us in the studio is our very esteemed guest, who we are very delighted to have, Mr. طلعت حافظ, who is the chairman of the Scientific Forum Committee and also a member of the Security Committee at the Chamber of Commerce in Riyadh. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Good Morning.
Well, wa alaikum assalam, and thank you for having me on the program.
It's our pleasure to have you again on the program, and it is also at the same time very good to keep up to date when it comes to the Saudi stock market, as
when it comes to money.
When it comes to money, indeed, especially. And today we have been talking extensively about beauty. Of course, beauty treatments are getting so expensive. I believe that even females need
very
to
expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So
especially in Kingdom.
I think it's cheaper than the gold if the guys have an option. Is it a beauty treatment for the missus or is it gold? I think a beauty treatment.
This is why men goes broke, huh?
This is true. Well, but other than that, Mr. Talat, we're going to be talking about the first Saudi Forum for Stock Exchange, which we are going to go in depth about later on in the program. But first of all, with the GCC summit, which recently concluded here and which came out with those deliberations and with a lot of conclusions, what I would like to ask you in the light of that is that with you being very well informed with the Chamber of Commerce and about the stock markets, what do you think is going to be the influence of Morocco and Jordan on the Saudi stock market after the GCC summit has concluded?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate the leaders of the GCC countries really of making a very step forward, but I see it, a decision to include Morocco and to include Jordan in that that's GCC organization, because I do believe it will definitely strengthen, you name it, the foundation, as you say, of the GCC since its inception back in 1981. Definitely GCC, it's a very strong organization, one of the most powerful, if you will, grouping in the world. However, having Morocco and having Jordan, that definitely will boost it and give it more boost, it will give it more power and strength. And as I mentioned, on all dimensions, whether it being financial, economic dimensions, political dimensions, and that also will give a better negotiation power, skills to GCC members when you have such two countries, big countries such as Morocco and such. And I look forward, honestly speaking, to have more and more in due course to strengthen the organization of the GCC.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Talib, moving back to our topic, and today we're talking about the first security forum that was happening here in the Kingdom. Tell us initially, what do we mean by the first security forum and why was this organized?
Let me tell you briefly about our committee, which is called the Securities Committee at the Chamber of Commerce. We are a committee that's under the umbrella of the Chamber of Commerce, and basically our roles is to work with the public on an educational basis, to educate the public, from time to time, and through different tools and methods, whether having forums as such, conducting forums, organizing forums as such, or having some lectures by inviting very esteemed speakers and experts in the field of the stock market. And basically is to enhance the awareness of the stock market, if you will, in the mind of the public, whether being the public, an individual just like you and I, or being an organization or institution. So that's the basic theme behind having such a committee. Some they confuse, some they feel that we are part of the CMA, the Capital Market Authority. Well, by all due respect, we love to be, and we regard such thing, but we're not part of the CMA. We work under the umbrella with the Chamber of Commerce, Riyadh Chamber, but however, we work very closely with the CMA on advisory role, if you will, because we believe that both of us, as they say, on the same boat, and so we work for the benefits, if you will, of the market, of the country in general, but also with specific to the stock market. The theme or the basic goals of such first forum that we have organized, the committee, of course, and we received, by the way, this is we had a co-partner with us, CMA, in that regard. but also we were lucky to have Prince Salman bin Abdulaziz, who's the governor of Riyadh, to back up really and to inaugurate, to have the forum under his inauguration. So that's for us, it's a plus more to give importance, if you will, to the forum. The basic messages of the forum, what we're trying to achieve is to ensure by through messages to the public that we have a very solid stock market in KSA. Especially that we are one of the largest in the world as far as the capitalization of the market value. We're the number 11 worldwide. So this is by default, it says how strong and it reflects how strong is the market. This is one. Second, we are part of a very strong economy, which is the Saudi economy on a macro level. And as you all know, despite the financial crisis, yet the Saudi market is surviving such crisis.
And maintain stability as well, mashallah.
Well, alhamdulillah. We have lots of things. We can spend hours and hours. We have politically stable, alhamdulillah. We're socially stable. Our market is growing. So this is what we're trying to tell the public. Just don't feel scared, scared. Just invest in the market.
Absolutely.
You have no problem.
Mashallah, very stable
But the
market.
direction, we have no direction to tell you to invest or not to invest, but basically to ensure from a macro level that we have a very strong market. One of the goals that we try to achieve from the forum also to the awareness, to improve and to enhance the awareness of the knowledge of the stock market. Because yet still in the back mind of, I don't have the number, but huge number of people, that the stock market is the only buying and selling shares of listed companies. It is not true. The stock market is more than that. Is having sukuk as part of the tools, the financing tools used, or having in that bonds, if you will, various methods of financing to the corporate level. So this is not only buying and selling shares on a daily basis and making whatever profit margin that you make from buying and selling. Again, that's a message that we clearly want to pass to the public, that the stock market is more than just buying and selling stock for companies listed in the market.
Indeed. Well, let me ask you very briefly, Mr. طلعت, Saudi people generally, do they have more at stake with the Saudi stock market or with the stock markets abroad?
You have both. But definitely the large percentage, I would probably say, now I don't have to be honest with you a percentage, clear.
There are no concrete statistics.
No, but I would believe probably 10% that they have both internationally and locally, and also GCC at the GCC level, and also at the Arab countries stock market. However, the bulk of the market definitely it deals in local content, i.e. in the Saudi market. And this is where we're trying to twist, of course, the mindset, as I mentioned. The stock market is larger and much bigger than only stock of companies listed, rather than its financing tools. As I said, using many tools, more than one tool. Just to cite an example, we have the mutual funds. We have the ETFs. This is new product that's been introduced to the market. We have the swap agreement for non-Saudis or non-nationals, or a corporate or individual whom they would like to invest in the market. So we are more and bigger than only buying and selling shares in the market.
Absolutely. But now forums such as this, how do they encourage investment, especially when we talk about small entrepreneurs or small businesses? How do they encourage these people to step in?
Well, we have, through basic 5 points or 5 items in the forum. When we started on the 14th and we ended up on the 15th, and we were very flattered really to have very expert, both in the academician, if you will, and also practitioners, hands-on, as they say, in the market, whom they really, again, I repeat myself, they thrown a very clear messages that our market is very strong, very solid, but definitely you need to know few tips how to deal with that market. One of the tips, the stock market or the financial market is not, as they say, hit and run. When I mean hit and run, you buy the stock today, you sell it in an hour or so, or maybe even in less than a minute or so. This doesn't make sense. This is not a stock market investment behavior dialogue. It's the stock market, something that you would keep for 3 to 5 years on the average, And then you make two things. One thing is you make the dividends, so you live on the dividends for that 3-5 years, fixed income. That could be very tempting, by the way, and enticing, because sometimes the rate of return on the dividends even better than any investment available.
Which is good advice for me and Saima.
No, indeed, especially if you connect to the financial crisis of today, where you really barely you can get an investment return on investment.
Absolutely.
If you look at the stock market, we made like 11% return on investment last year. Tell me today where you have a comparable investment with such risk that could make you for 11%. No way. This Q1, in first quarter, we made around more than 3%. So what I'm telling you is the more that you keep the stock with you, the more that you enjoy the profit of it from dividends point of view, but also from the capitalization value when you sell that stock. So what we're trying to tell the public is hold the stock, don't sell and buy. You could make money. I'm not saying you could not make, but you could
if you want to
run
see
into big losses.
Better results, then you need to be a bit more patient
Indeed.
on your profits.
More patient, yes. Buy the stock. Diversity is very important, but that's another message. Have a little bit, I don't mention some names, but have a little bit of A company, B company, C company, and don't concentrate. Don't put your eggs in one basket, and that's a very known investment, if you will, advise that we always use it with the public.
So go with, let's say, petrochemicals, aviation.
Diversify, diversify. I don't want to say list some companies, but again, there are blue chip companies, and everybody knows.
And everybody knows.
I'm not trying to promote SABIC or otherwise, or the banks, but there are blue chip, there are medium-sized companies, there are small companies. So the beauty of it is to have the right mix of all the companies, and not to lean on a company and leave the rest of the market. So this basically the message that we're trying to get across.
Now let's
I'm
say,
sorry, just one of the important items also. We had an item or a topic that has addressed the trust, how to entrust the market, how to enhance the stability of the market by listing really what has happened in the market over a couple of years back, when we have improved the transparency, when we have introduced more financial instrument, when we have put the corporate governance. I mean, I think the corporate governance is a step forward, really, to stabilize the market and to ensure that the market is really performing under, I won't say strict rules, but clear-cut rules that really would cut any kind of misleading in the market.
Encourage more trust and therefore encourage more investment.
Because trust is very important to any kind of investment.
It's very important when it comes to money, Mr. Talab. Any type of money must side by trust. Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Talab, tell us more about the outlines of the first Saudi Forum for Stock Exchange. What was the role that the Capital Markets Authority played, the Chamber of Commerce, the stock markets by itself, and what was in there for the novices?
Well, again, I would say, the combination that we had was really excellent. I mean, we teamed up. And I really pass my regards to His Excellency Dr. Abdurrahman Aziz al-Treasury, who's the chairman of the CMA. When we called in his office before, we were thinking about having such a forum. And
how did the idea come in?
Well, the idea, as I mentioned, part of our role, being the Securities Committee, the Chamber of Commerce, is to educate people, is to enhance the image of the market. But again, we're not here to train. We're not here to tell people invest in SABIC and don't invest in banks. No, this is not our role.
So
our
that
role
means
is to
we are
spread
not
the word.
likely. That means we're not likely to benefit from our alliance with you through the program.
Give you
you're
some
not going to
recommendation?
tell us.
This is illegal, by the way.
Okay.
To give the recommendation or to tell you invest, not to invest. But again, is to give the clear picture of the market, to reflect the changes, to reflect the challenges. And really, in fact, when we visited Dr. Abdurrahman, along with Mr. Khalid al-Magaran, who's our chairman of that committee, a member of the Chamber of Commerce Board, and Mr. Abdul al-Faiz, who's the chairman, chief editor of the Iqtisadiyya, we were surprised when we were speaking a few words to Dr. Abdurrahman. He said, I like it. I think I like the idea. Gentlemen, you're on the right track. Go ahead. I will support you. So we thought this is a very nice combination, a very nice support, that we really have support from the CMA. And then we worked very closely, to be honest with you, with the CMA on putting the items and the points and the ideas and choosing the right date and choosing the speakers and what have you. ولله الحمد, alhamdulillah, you know, the feedback that we have gotten so far, that the forum was successful. And of course, this is the Saudi number one. This
Absolutely.
is the security forum number one.
Sorry to intervene.
Sorry.
I'm sorry to intervene there. We are running out of time, but just very briefly before we go.
I'm a talkative person, by the way.
Well, it's a pleasure having you actually, Mr.
Thank
Talib.
you.
But just before we go, a little bit on the real estate industry, a very booming industry. How was this? How did this tie in with the first security forum?
Well, remember we had one of the topics that addressed the mutual funds, quote unquote. And part of the mutual fund, the real estate funds. But again, we want to enlarge the part of the mutual funds, not only real estate, not only ETFs, but we can develop new funds that deals with the sustainability in the kingdom, that can finance projects, mega projects.
Absolutely.
We don't want the government to step in each and every project and provide financing. We want the public to benefit from such financing by creating such funds that finance major and mega projects, and the public can participate through the funding with the government, with the corporate sector, to help in growing the country and sustain the economic growth.
Mr. Hafiz, with this we'd like to thank you.
I have more to say.
You have more to say, unfortunately.
I'm just kidding.
We're running out of time. But I know, absolutely. Mr. Hafiz, chairman of the scientific committee for the first Saudi Security Forum. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Also, Mr. Talad is a member of the Security Committee at the Riyadh Chamber of Commerce. It's a pleasure to have you once again with us.
My pleasure.
We hope
and
you
we hope
enjoy
you will agree with us soon to help us and our viewers to make more money and to perhaps, gain some
but
success.
after the show, not
perhaps
live.
invest more. Nevertheless,
and I hope I see you in the second
inshallah,
next year, inshallah.
We'll be more involved, inshallah. But moving on, we'll go on a report from the conference to find out more about the first Saudi Forum for Security. Let's find out more about the forum in the following report. When we come back, lots more on the programme. Stay tuned.